Welcome back to Life and Living. Our next guest suffered a stroke at the age of 40 that left her nonverbal and unable to read or write. Today, she designs jewelry and teaches a class at the Adler Aphasia Center. She's Eunice Bustillo, jewelry designer and teacher who is living with aphasia. Thank you so much for joining us today and talking about this very important topic that I don't think many people understand. What is aphasia?
Aphasia is a communications disorder due to a stroke or brain injury, and it's something that you're always going to have. And you can get a little better, but you'll always have aphasia.
You were nonverbal at the time of the stroke. Describe what it was like for you, kind of waking up and realizing that the words that you once had, you no longer had.
It was very sad and very depressing. The fact that I couldn't really talk or read or write. I had a 3-year-old. I worked and I was in public relations, and it was terrible. And especially, I think the hardest thing was that I couldn't read or write for my son. You know, it was that was very, very hard.
How did you connect with the folks at the Adler Aphasia Center?
Through Hackensack, the hospital.
So you were being treated at Hackensack?
Yes, thank God. Yeah.
Hackensack University Medical Center.
Yes, yes.
And how did they point you there, and what was that like, that first time that you went there?
Well, my husband said that I should have, because I really didn't want to go anywhere. I was very traumatized, the fact that I couldn't talk and I didn't want to do anything, and so he tried very hard, and I went to the center, and to my surprise, I was very happy that he did push, because there are people there that have aphasia, people my age, and I connected, and it made a big difference in my life, and it's made a big difference for my family.
For the year and a half, it was a year and a half, right?
Just about.
Before you went to the Adler Aphasia Center, how alone did you feel? How isolated did you feel?
Very isolated. As a mom with a young kid, I really didn't want to go to the park because I was afraid that people would tease my son and because mom couldn't speak or write. I just didn't know how to cope with that. I couldn't cope with answering the phone. I couldn't cope with doing anything. It was just so embarrassing. I just.
How did life change? How did all of that change for you when you found that there was a community of people who were dealing with the same things you were and really overcoming a lot of the challenges that you were experiencing?
It was. So they gave me a second chance in life, because they taught me how to deal with things that meant a lot to me. They taught me how to work with my son. That self-confidence and that positive reinforcement just made me feel part of the community. And now I was able to go out and answer the phone. I can say to my son's friends and my friends' parents, listen, I had a stroke and I'm fine, but you know, you need to talk to me slower. Well, I'll get there, you know?
Right. But you have the confidence to do that, and you have the confidence now to make jewelry. I want to talk about something special, the organization that you really helped to start at the Adler Aphasia Center. How did this start, and what is this?
Well, it started with an art class, and I was really good at it, and I said, how can I branch this? We were doing, there was the store, and we were doing carts and boxes, and then I saw, and I was doing stuff, and I went to AC Moore, and I said, this little sign saying, make jewelry, and I said, wow. When I spoke to somebody there, and they said, well, you can go, you know, it's okay. You can do jewelry.
You were nervous to take the class.
Yeah, I was afraid that nobody would know. And they said, don't worry, you can do it. And I went back to the center and I said, listen, they said to me, that's a really nice necklace. And he goes, yeah, I made it there. And he goes, Mrs. Adler said, well, why don't you teach a class?
Elaine Adler said that.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, okay. And
were you nervous to teach a class? I mean, it's one thing to take a class, right? But then to be the teacher.
No, because I felt so good about doing, finishing something, and I was showing people how to do stuff, and the fact that I was being productive in life. You know.
What did it do for you when you saw other people take a class and experience kind of the joy of this process of creating something that you were experiencing?
They were feeling the same way that I was, and now we have this the store with the jewelry. The fact that we are all the jewelry that we make and functional pieces like pens, we don't have them here, or cake cutters and all that stuff. We have a little bio with the stuff that we make.
So, and these are sold?
And they're sold, and whoever made it has a bio, who made it, and
let's talk about this one right here,
this
because this bio, I'm
Yeah.
particularly curious about Bill and his bio and his story.
Bill was a football teacher, coach in Richwood, New Jersey. Macho. For a year, I said, Bill, you gotta do jewelry. It's so much fun. It's occupational therapy, you know, because he only had one hand that he can really work. And he said, and I said, listen, try this pen. And then he said, okay. So
reluctantly?
Very reluctant. He said, no way, I'll do anything else but this. But he went and he took the class, and he was able to string a necklace, small beads, tubes, one hand, and every single morning when we came back to, he would go to the center and to the store, and he would say, oh, that necklace is still here, you know, I wonder if somebody, you know, and then he sees that the necklace was bought, he's like, you know, sense of pride, and the fact that I pushed him, and he was so happy that he did it. Now every single Christmas, all of his gifts are made by him.
For his family, for anyone he's giving a gift to, it's a necklace or a piece of jewelry.
And we use it's very reasonable, and things are very, very reasonable, between 25, 20, you know, it's very reasonable.
So these necklaces, I'm sorry, I want to make sure we get this in there, that when the pieces of jewelry are sold, they're sold in bags that have facts about aphasia, right? Because people don't know about it. Like you said, the bio about each person who made the piece. And of course, the jewelry itself is absolutely gorgeous. Unbelievable work, unbelievable story.
Right.
You and all of those at the Adler Aphasia Center. I want to thank you for sharing it with us and for bringing this issue to the forefront, because I think so many people, like we said, don't understand it, and I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Eunice Bustillo, jewelry designer and teacher who's living with aphasia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Life and Living right after this.
Life and Living has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and NJTV. Funding for this edition of Life and Living with Joanna Gagis has been provided by Investors Bank, Kessler Foundation, Hackensack UMC Corporate Health Program, PSE&G, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by Partners for Health Foundation. Life and Living with Joanna Gagis has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.